All right, here we go. Another special edition live stream podcast of the post game show. CP from Knicks Fan TV, my man J Ellis from Nick and Time Show. J Ellis, we got another special one tonight, man.
Oh yeah.
This was a fan favorite, a fan request. They wanted the X-Man. We got on the X-Man. Xavier McDaniel in the building tonight.
Yeah.
X-Man, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Nice to be on the show.
Absolutely, man. Thanks again for coming on. And before we get into it, salute to everybody watching. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Tonight's hashtag is going to be 32X. If Xavier McDaniel's was your guy, if you're an Xavier McDaniel fan, leave a hashtag 32X in the chat so that we can salute him, man. All right, JL, let's go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah, man. All right, so a lot of people don't know that you were the second, number 2 in Rookie of the Year voting, right behind Patrick Ewing. So my question to you is, when you wake up in the morning and you're getting that call from your agent that says, I'm coming to the Knicks. You got traded to the Knicks from Phoenix. What were your first thoughts?
It didn't even happen that way. I was leaving Seattle, Washington, heading back to Arizona, and going through the mountains of Arizona. Back then, the phone service wasn't that good in those mountains. I get into town, I get a message, they come by the office, and they been trying to call me all day and locate me. I get in, it's probably about 4 o'clock that day, and Cop Fitzsimmons say, I just traded your ass.
Damn.
And I was like, huh? He said, I just traded you. I said,
Wow.
He said, New York. I said, thank you. That's where I should have went before that, because I thought I was going to get traded to New York the year that I went to Phoenix for that 1 year, and it didn't work out. And somehow I ended up in Phoenix for half a season. And then we lost in the first round to Utah, 55-28 that year. And, you know, Utah just came in hot and knocked us off. We had one of the best records in the league.
Damn. Now, excellent. When you first got to the Knicks, there's a story about the first day of practice in South Carolina. Do you remember this story? And can you tell us?
I don't know if it was the first day, but I already know what you're going to talk about.
One of the first days. Can you let us? I mean, this is a brand new team, right? This is a new coach in Pat Riley.
Right.
You had just been traded for. They had signed Anthony Mason. Greg Anthony was drafted. You know, what was that atmosphere like in those opening days of practice, and what happened?
Well, we're gonna go to the meeting. We're gonna start at the meeting, and Pat Riley was talking about the style of basketball he want to play. He wanted to be physical.
Okay.
And he basically just told me, he said, I don't want Xavier McDaniel, who played for the Suns. He was soft. He was a jump shooter.
Wow.
He said, I want the maniac that played and, you know, got into practice, and I am talking mad trash to Mason every time he take a shot.
Oh, man.
I'm telling him to get that crap out. And I guess he must have got tired of it. And it was on from there. I'm sorry, but you ain't going to just hit me. That was it. They basically calmed me down, because I said, well, you ain't got to come out the locker room. I'll wait on you at the dinner. I'll wait for you to practice. They had to have a meeting.
I believe it.
They had to have a meeting with us and was like, we're going to suspend you. And that kind of got my attention. And, you know, we shook hands, and that was it. And we moved on. And, I mean, like, that first day on breakfast that morning, I remember Pat Riley was like coming down. They got the TV. I'm like, why they got the TV out there? Daggone breakfast. They showing the fight of me and Oakley. Right?
Yeah.
And they showed the entire fight. He cut it off and say, Now we fight together. And
dope. That's dope.
And that was my introduction to New York. But to go back to something that you said was I was number 2, but I should have been number 1 that year in Rookie of the Year. Patrick only played 50 games. I played 82 games.
Over Patrick.
Oh. Yeah. And every time I talked to Patrick, and when he was living in Maryland, if I'm coming through that way, I would always stop. I said, man, let me look at my trophy. I said, Patrick, you take my 32 worst games and throw them out the window, I guarantee you my average is higher than yours.
Man.
So I just felt like I should have won that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, but you're in New York. Patrick is no doubt about megastar. He's by far the best player I've played with. So, my hat's off to him, but I still believe, after almost 35 years, I deserve to win it.
Wow. Man. Still carry that chip on your shoulder to this day.
Oh yeah. I let him know every time I talk to him.
Gotcha.
Do you feel like you should have took? I mean, just because you said the answer to the question like that, I have to ask this question. Do you feel like sometimes you should have been 1A?
No.
Okay.
No. When I knew I came into New York, Patrick was the man. Only thing they needed me to do was get him a flash of Bernard King. I didn't have to be the full Bernard King. They need a small forward that could defend. They need a small forward that can make tough shots. We needed, and that's what I wanted to provide for them. And I think I did it all the way up until about January. I'm not sure the exact date when I bought my contract out, but I knew it was in January. You're talking about 30-something years ago now?
Yeah.
1992, January 92. I bought the contract out, and we gave him $275,000 money order, and I told him to keep the $225 deferred payment because that's what a lot of the teams would do back in the day, defer some of your money. And that's what made my $500 up. After I did that, they stopped playing me. And when they stopped playing me, my average dropped from about 18 a game. I think I finished that year under 14. That was the lowest scoring average I had in my career. And I pretty much never recovered from that because even when I went to Boston, my minutes dropped a lot. So, but I mean, I enjoyed the time. I wanted to come back to New York, and I know that's something you guys are going to ask. I wanted to be back in New York. But very obvious, Dave Checkett and Gruntfield felt totally different because like people were asking me, well, they said he was going to sign you. Well, it's September. So the league starts in July 1. And so you got all of July, you got all of August. Now it's like Labor Day weekend. And I'm like, David, if I ain't signed out, if they haven't signed me out the Labor Day weekend, then we're gonna go somewhere else. And that's what happened.
Wow. Because and we kind of going back here, but because from my research, Checkett has said that you and David Falk never really gave him the option to match the deal with Boston.
You cannot match an offer with Boston when I'm not a restricted free agent. I'm unrestricted. Boston was not going to let me go in the office. They put me in a room with one telephone with them looking, and I called Patrick Ewing, and I said, Patrick, if you tell me not to sign it, I will not sign it.
Man.
He said, and he said these exact words. If they were going to sign you, they would already do it. Take care of your family.
Wow.
Man.
And that was that.
And then they come out on ESPN talking about they were going to pay me more money. That was bull.
Right. That's that. Right. Right.
And how I know was because a reporter came to me and said, they're going to jerk you at the end. Because there was almost a deal for James Worthy.
To the Knicks?
Yeah, to the Knicks.
Oh, we got to hear that, man. We got to hear that story, X-Man.
Yeah,
what was that story for Worthy?
What?
And I think the Lakers backed out of the deal. There was a deal. A reporter told me there was a deal for James Worthy.
Wow.
They got him. They was gonna tell you either you want to be with us because I still had 2 more years.
Yeah.
To get me to keep the 2 more years, and I wanted to get out. And then when we were up 13 games, I think, or 14 games against Boston, and they wind up tying us for the Atlantic Division. And back then, we would always play each other. You either gonna play them 3 or 6 times. I mean, 5 times or 6.
Best of 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That year we played them 5 times and they beat 3-2. So they win the division. I have a meet with Checkett and Pat Riley, and I was like, man, I've been ready to play ball all year. And so when they told me we're gonna get back to work, and I knew against Detroit I needed to have a monster series, and we beat them. And I knew I needed to have a monster series against Chicago, and that's what got me the contract. Because I mean, I turned down a contract for $12.8 million with Seattle. You know, for a 4 years extension. And when I didn't sign that deal, that's when they started shopping me, because I was like, I'm not keeping the one, because I would have played with the 1-6 that I played in New York. And then it was the 1-8 in Seattle. And then I would have had the 4-year deal. I didn't want to do that. That was a long time to be locked up. And so I wind up backing out that deal. So I had to get something that was compromised to what I gave up.
Yeah, makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Unfortunate.
They jerked me around, and I mean, I just, and then when I get back to Battle Square Garden, everybody booing me.
Hey, when you playing for Boston, X-Man, come on, man. You know, you playing for Boston, that's just, it's tough, man. Tough.
That's a tough one.
Damn.
Yeah, but a lot of people may not know it, but you can always quote David on this. If I did not sign with Boston, and a lot of people don't know, there's only a few close friends know, and they may deny it, but after that series with Chicago, and they were taking it, we were also talking with Chicago.
Wow. Oh my God.
Well, because Jordan's agent, Patrick's agent, your agent was David Falk.
Right. And we were talking, and
that makes sense.
I was taking a chance. We were just in the early preliminaries of the talk. And I was like, hey man, I done gave up 12.8 plus 1.8. I got to get something out of it. So I had a 5-year, $13 million deal with $8 million guaranteed.
Wow.
I took the money and ran, to be honest.
So the conspiracy theory that Jordan tried to push you to Boston to keep you away from the Knicks is that false? Are you here to debunk that conspiracy theory?
That's definitely false. I mean, because Dave Checkett them, I'll put it this way: put me in a room, put Dave Checkett and Ernie Grunfeld in a room, and they asked us to be singing like canaries. So David had nothing to do with it. You know, it was a situation where they had all year to sign me. They had all year. I remember them telling me we may want to look at a couple other people, and then we're gonna sign you.
Yeah.
You do business. You could agree with on something. I could have signed it, and we could have dated it later.
Yeah.
We could have neutrally hands and say, hey, this is what we're giving. But their whole thing was, when I wasn't playing, after I bought my contract out, well, we'll give you $500 back, and we'll let the offer go back, which will be, give me my $500, then I play the next year for 1.8 and the next year for 1.8. And I kept telling them no.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, you gotta do what's best for you.
Yeah, man.
That's why
you gotta do what's best for you.
That's why I love the kids today. I love guys like LeBron. I love these guys because they control their destiny. And you know how the NBA, and a lot of people don't know, but the NBA can control you a little bit. They don't control these guys because they know somebody else will pick them up. And being the owners kind of stuck together a little bit. So, I mean, I got caught up. It wasn't even a numbers game, you know, and I'm not mad at nobody get a contract, but Oak gets something like $20 million right after that. And then Mason get like $24 million. Stocks get like $24 million. And to be honest, I only asked for a 6-year deal, $18 million. You give Harvey Grant $18 million, and you can't give me $18 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then I didn't even drop it. I said, let's do 3 years, $10 million. So they didn't want to do it. So, like I said, we was in a room with Dave Checkett and the Paramount Pictures back then. Wasn't Mr. Dolan was the owner, but it was Paramount Pictures on the team back then. And so, like I said, you put Dave Checkett and Ernie Grunfeld in it, both of them be snitching on each other.
J Ellis, we got the X-Man dropping gems in here. We didn't even get to the Bulls series. We're already getting into this, man. This is great. This is great.
Good stuff. He had to let him go.
Absolutely, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys and drop a 32X in the chat for the X-Man. Xavier, on the team, you know, chemistry wise, Who would you say you were closest with on the team? Was it Patrick? Because you guys that kind of came up together.
Yeah, and us having the same agent.
Yeah.
Out of everybody, I mean, I got a great relationship with Gerald, but I think and Patrick, like I said, when he was staying in Maryland at the time, and I would be coming back and forth from Boston to New York, hanging out with people in Lawrence and Queens. What's up?
Queens, stand up. If you're from Queens, throw Queens in the chat, man.
I would always sometimes stop through and stay at his house or something and just hang out with him, maybe go to dinner. Stop at David Falk house on the way back from South Carolina. Patrick is the one that I probably kept up the most, but me and Mark, all of us was pretty cool. We was pretty cool. I will talk to Oak every once in a while, call him one day, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and just was talking with him. And he said, I'm going to call you right back, X, and he never called me back. And I was like, I didn't do nothing to him.
Yeah. Oak, man, you got to call X-Man back.
Yeah, man, call him back, man.
We had Oak on the show a couple months ago. In terms of, when you guys kind of got into your ruts, every season doesn't go without its peaks and valleys. Who was kind of like the glue guy of that team? Like, who did you guys kind of lean on to kind of get you guys back on track?
I'm going to say Mark Jackson was really the glue for us. People has underestimated Action Jackson so many times. He's slow and does this and this. But anytime in any of those series, he got us under control. He got us in the right spot. And if I was feeling it, he would tell Patrick to get out, let me in. Patrick had it going. Mark Jackson was the general that kept everything going for us. I felt like he was the glue. I mean, you're talking about a team that won 51 games, and they get starters.
Yeah.
I think they keep us, continue to add. I felt like we could have took the Bulls in 92 or 93. I feel bad for Charles
Smith.
Because I don't know if I got the ball down there blocking one time.
Oh, man.
I still had some decent legs. I got to try to punch one of them in there, And that's what the NBA is about. You got to be able to finish around that rim.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him. I just shook my head like, man, I wish that would have been me because I would have tried to punch that on everybody down there.
True story, man. True story. All right, so you guys win 51 games. You have a hard-fought series against the Pistons now. I mean, they took you to 5, and kind of like how the Bulls, had to get through them the prior year, you guys had to get through the bad boys before you even got to the Bulls.
Y'all kind of finished the bad boys, actually.
Right. That was kind of like the finishing touches of the bad boys. I mean, how do you remember, like, coming out of that series? Like, what was the feelings around the team getting past Detroit first?
I honestly believe that we could beat them. I felt like we could beat them, to be very honest. I felt like we could beat them, and I felt like we match up very well against them. And the way we did it was very unorthodox because I was on Lambert mostly because he started. And Oak was on, I think they started Orlando Woolridge, was on him, and then Patrick was on Wern. But because of all the way they played, we could guard anybody. So, but I think they never figured it out. Well, they got X on him, and him, and then Rodman guard me, who I am not afraid of. They don't see him hit me. You not see one game where you see him hit me with a messed up flagrant call.
Yeah, you never seen any Robin X-Man clips of that nature.
And so, and I've had some very good games against him. He's a very good player. Don't get me wrong. But where I grew up at, and how tough my parents were, and the neighborhood I grew up, those tactics that he did, that shit didn't scare me at all. So that fit right into my mold. Physical, beat you up, hit you out. I mean, in that series, they couldn't say we did this to them because I had scratches, I had cuts, my mouth was busted open.
You earned it.
Physical series. We just happened to be a little bit more tougher than them. Oak was a tough guy. Patrick was a tough guy. To be honest, I felt like we could have had one of the best front lines in basketball for at least 5 years. Yeah.
I mean, between you, Oak, and Patrick, I mean, you guys dominated the boards on a lot of teams, against a lot of teams. Yeah, absolutely, man. Segue now into the Bulls series. Now, going into this series, Chicago, they always had our number. I mean, let's just be real. But going into that series, they had won something like 14 straight against the Knicks. When you're now seeing a team like this in the playoffs, I mean, what is the game plan that you're going into? What is the mindset that you're going into to try to beat this team that had your number for years?
Well, our mindset was when we had our team meeting and we already knew we was probably gonna be playing the Bulls. So because we got that number 4 seed if we beat Chicago. We all sit down and I basically told them this. And I love Scotty. Don't get me wrong with what
Here we go.
I told him we don't need the double Scotty. We don't need the double Scotty.
Talk it.
And I got to talk and say we don't need the double Michael. If you double Michael, he still got 40 to 50 or 30, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you don't double him, he still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep Michael under 40. And my thought was to keep Scottie Pippen under 20. I felt like if we can keep him under 20 and keep Michael under 40, we could beat them. And but the pivotal game we lost was game 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You win game 1 and then you lose game 2 and game 3. That was a big blow to us. And so that gave them home court advantage. But we just couldn't double. And every time we wind up doubling, Paxson, Hodges,
Armstrong's hero game 2.
Yeah. They hit big shot. And I remember I'm trying to think back. I'm not sure, so I'm guessing. But I know they hit something like maybe at least 5 or 6 shots with the shot clock running down, including B.J. Armstrong, Craig Hodges, and Paxson. They hit a bunch of shots with the shot clock coming down, which most teams gonna miss because you got to rush it.
Yeah.
So that was a tough series for us. That series, I really thought we could have won it, but you got to go through some type of adversity.
That's right. In
order to get there. The Bulls, a lot of people say they're unbeatable, but anybody's beatable. But you got to do it for 7 games. So you got to they learn how to be physically tough. And so like I said, game 2 and 3, we had to win one of those 2. If we lose game 2, we definitely had to win game 3 at home. That was a big game.
I mean, to your point, everybody expected the Knicks to be swept. That was the consensus that y'all was gonna be swept 4-0, and that didn't happen. Instead, those people who don't even play basketball. I mean, you can sit down, man, and you can write stuff all you want, and people can give you quotes and answers, but you can never say somebody gonna be swept. I mean, even in Seattle, we got swept twice by the Lakers, and I used to sit there and say, man, what happened? We'll be out there, 29-point lead. I go in halftime and say, what happened? And so you can be swept, but a lot of those people, most of them just write the game and they just talk the game.
Still got to play the game.
Yeah, still got to play.
Sometimes sweeps happen. Sometimes teams are not. When you got a team that work together and is good, you got to find a way to keep them together and build on it. And look at the Bulls. Yeah. They never got rid of them until Jerry Randolph in '98. They stayed together for
consistency, man. You need that stability. I've been preaching that with the Knicks forever now.
Yeah. And when you look at the Knicks roster, besides Patrick, Oak, Starks, within 5 years into it, Mason was gone, and they bringing in more and more people. Then you see Doc Rivers in, and Charles Smith, where I remember with the Lakers, they had to start a lineup for a whole lot of years, moving somebody out. When you take Jamal Wilkes out and you put James Worthy in, wow, look how he excelled. They didn't miss a beat and stuff.
So game four comes and you drop 24 points and 7 rebounds. To me, that seems like the pivotal moment for you. It seems like a switch went off. It seemed like, Patrick Ewing was getting doubled a lot and you need to find your way to score. Can you tell me what you were seeing in game 4 and
tell you how your role evolved within that series.
Well, just in those 12 games, they let the dogs out. They didn't pat them, they didn't mess with me about contracts. They didn't mess with me about playing time. You got to realize I only played 28 minutes a game that season. And if you go back and look up, and I know they got it, you can find anything on the internet. You go back and look, and you'll see that I was averaging close to 18 and a half points.
Yeah.
Until I bought the contract out. And after I bought the contract out, now I go in the game, they take me out, average drop. Go in the game, take me out. And I'm like, damn, now I got to try to be self. And that made it even worse because I ain't even that type of player to look for my shots. I try to do it within the offense. And I just had to call my boy, Aubrey Sherrod, who's been my boys for 39 years from college. And we just talked and said, you just got to get back the way we was taught. And that's what I did. And I stayed in the gym. When my name was called, I stayed in the gym. That was the key. I stayed in the gym, and I did not let my confidence get down. And they allowed me to play the way I envisioned playing with Patrick. And, I just know when I looked at that series, I was like, 93, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
95. I could have, and I was in New York when the finals, when they was playing the Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
and Patrick met up at what was that restaurant? They done closed up now. Oh man, we met at what's the name of it? Shark Bar.
Shark Bar. Okay.
Bar after the game. He wanted me to come. I said, man, if I came to that game, I'll mess around and try to put a damn uniform on. So we watched it at a bar. Met up later.
That's what's up, man. And salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Yeah, we're talking to fan favorite, the X-Man, Xavier McDaniels. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys and hit a 32X in the chat to salute the X-Man. Xavier, Jeff Van Gundy we were listening to the Woj podcast. He had Patrick Ewing and Jeff Van Gundy on the show, and Jeff really pointed to you as the X factor, man. He said, listen, Xavier McDaniel was the difference maker in this series. So you feel like, what you did to really galvanize the team was just to stay ready, just to stay hungry, stay ready. And you felt like you could really focus because the contract was kind of off your head.
Yeah. I just stayed ready, man. But I Jeff was assistant, and when I was there, and a lot of people knew what was going on. Patrick knew. Patrick told me to keep my head up. I get booed in New York because I'm not having a good year. The New York crowds can be tough. But I just said my time will come. Just got to be patient and stay in shape and do what you're supposed to do. And that's all you can do. And that's what you got to do.
Talk about in game 4, 5, and 6. You really turned it up. You're averaging damn near like 25 points a game, especially in those pivotal games in the Garden. Game 6, you guys dominated them by 14 points. When the crowd is getting into it, the defense chants and the towels are waving. What does that do for you when you're out there on the court? When that crowd going, man, your adrenaline is going, man. Only thing you want to do is try to perform. That's all you're trying to do. You just try to perform and have a good time. And it was extremely loud in there. And I just want to try to give my best, man, because I knew I had a lot more basketball in me, and I just wanted to play. Didn't want to deal with a bunch of politics. Because we could have just got this contract done and moved on. They could have said, hey, this is what we're willing to offer. They never offer anything. Damn. But the bottom line is, it was 30 years ago. The only time I talk about it is when people, the media are doing radio interviews, ask me about it. But I do think if they kept that team together, man, I think we could have overtook them, because I already had been through a lot. You got to realize, I done beat Houston twice in Seattle, but I could never get past the Lakers. I had done been through some things, and I knew they had been through some things with the Bulls. So me, even though I wasn't with them during the Bulls, I already had been through some turn times against Pat Riley. I've been twice by the Lakers, And so for me, it was my opportunity to show that I could try to get to that next level. And it just never happened. That's just one of the regrets
that I got is I never got to play in the final. Like I said, I was in New York when they were playing the Rockets. And Patrick wanted me to come to. I said, man, if I come to that fucking game,
you ready to jump in there, right?
Man. Yeah.
Damn.
So like I said, met him at the shop bar afterwards, and we just talked. And I was like, damn, man, I wish I was out there with you, bro. I mean, I always root for him. I think Patrick deserves something. He deserved a championship.
Yeah.
You know, he put his heart out on for people. So, you know, I mean, just like him. You know, I've had 5 or 6 on my knee. He's had 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing I regret. I just didn't get to play in the finals.
That makes me mad, man, because we really needed like that secondary.
We needed
scorer.
that one more, man. One more, J Ellis. We just needed that one more.
Hearing his backstory is making me mad.
And the thing is, I remember watching Game 7, and I was like saying at the TV, Patrick, tell Starks to stop, damn it, shooting. You know, and I love Starks, great guy. And I thought they felt like Starks could be that person. But I would have been like, yo, man, that Jay ain't going. You got going to the home, and he just stayed with it. But, you know, that was a time. I mean, I think he was 1 for 17, something like that.
Yeah, 2 for 17.
But that was tough, man. I was rooting for those guys and stuff, but it was what it is, man. I wanted to help, but there was nothing I could do.
Yeah. You know, recently, like I said, we had Charles Oakley on the show, and on our interview and previous interviews and interviews after that, you know, he kind of came out against Patrick in a way that kind of questioned his leadership style and saying he was high maintenance, he was hard to deal with. I think Derek Harper was also interviewed about a week later and kind of said similar things, like, you know, it was kind of hard to deal with Patrick because sometimes he would hog the ball and kind of freeze them out and put them in a difficult situation when they cold. What was your experience like playing with, you know, a star of that caliber?
Honestly, I did not have it. I had to learn to play with Patrick because I'm a post player too. I'm an inside out guy. What is Patrick? He's an inside guy. But I learned what I said. I gotta tighten up on my shooting some more. I would be in the gym shooting. But when I got that opportunity to go in the post, I did exactly what I was supposed to do: make baskets when I'm in the post. Patrick is this guy. I went to Patrick one time and said, hey, man, Pat Riley's killing us, man. I mean, he's killing us. Patrick, man, you know me, man. I just practice, man. And, you know, I said, God damn it, Patrick, I'm doing what he say too. But we just went 2.5 hours in a shoot around speed. I was up to the game late. They were already dressed. I hurry up and get dressed. We was playing San Antonio Spurs. Sean Elliott had 32 on me after the game. Me and Pat Riley get into it. And I looked at him and said, fuck it, I just played 2 games today. I said, we played one this morning and we played one today. We went for 2.5 hours and we got the crap beat up. And I was like, Patrick, we can't do that. You can't run nobody that way. Yeah. For 2 hours. I mean, I love Pat Riley. He's a great guy. I can pick up the phone and call him right now. But the truth be told, that's the truth. I call him and leave him a message, call me back within a couple hours, you know? But during those times, I think he was trying to establish it, but he was weighing me and Patrick out because of our knee situation.
Yeah, I was thinking,
I mean, and you know, you heard all the stories with the Lakers and how they got hurt against Detroit. They had 3 starters out, hamstrings, Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, I think Worthy was limping in that series. So, you know, but when we got in the playoff, he didn't do it as much. Well, he didn't do it at all because we just walked in a lot of walkthrough. But during the regular season, man, I'm like, we doing this drill, and I'm dead tired. 1.5 hours.
Classic that, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, Patrick, I don't think he was a high maintenance guy. I think Derek Harper got to look at it as he came in the league in 1983, I think, and now he's 10 years in. And a lot of time us athletes, we could be 10 years in, but we still think we're 22, and we're not. And Oak, the same thing. Oak has never been a great scorer.
Right.
Oak will miss a wide open layup. Let's just be honest. Sometimes he'd be wide open, Mr. Layup. So, I mean, I don't know what to say, and I'm not trying to say nothing against neither one, because I know Derek Harper, but we only hung out maybe once or twice in my whole 12 years, and me and Oakley kind of hung out a little bit, and so I'm not trying to throw any of them on the bus.
Yeah.
I had a great year with Patrick. I had a great year with Gerald Wilkins and Mason and Oak and all those guys and John Stocks. I had a great time with all of them. But I don't think Patrick was high maintenance. Patrick, when you want to say go to war,
that's who you want to go to war with.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, Kareem, Shaq, Akeem. You know, King got the best of him because Patrick knees was starting to fail him a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, Patrick had always dominated that series. They just go back to one 7-game series that he dominated Patrick. But you go back and look at the numbers, you know, it ain't like he just dominated him like he did Shaq that one year, you know. And Akeem been a great player. I seen him score 52 points and 25 rebounds on us in double overtime. So he's a monster of a player. But Patrick is a true warrior.
Yeah, it's interesting to get that balanced perspective because we as fans, you know, we only see what's on TV, right? And growing up with this team, we seen him leave his heart out there on the court. We seen all the failures and everything, and we were just as disappointed as those guys were. But for the most part, we saw a guy that brought it every night. You know, we know the ice machine was stressed with the ice bags and stuff. He put it all out there, so it's kind of disappointing to hear the knocks on him. But it was interesting to hear your perspective as well.
Yeah, and also I think for Oak, I think because Patrick didn't probably come to his defense.
Yeah,
when all that stuff happened, because as soon as it happened, all of a sudden I see my phone calling. Usually somebody calling me, "Hey, you on TV?" or they texting me. But my phone is like steady blowing up. I mean, like, and now I'm like, I'm already looking at it on ESPN. I mean, I'm getting like, I could not believe that. And I don't know what's said. I'm not going to say Mr. Dole. I don't know what was said. I know Oak might have did say something, or Dolan might have said something. I just don't know. So I tell people I try not to comment on it. Like, not one time besides Patrick retirement I ever been asked to come back to anything. But do I take it personal? And I got some people in New Orleans. I said, well, maybe when the season picks up, we'll go to a New York game. I go there and buy my own daggone ticket.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see nothing to the point to say, you know, like, you know, this about the Knicks organization. Because theoretically, they don't owe you nothing when you get through playing. Everybody know when you're playing basketball, you got to not let basketball use you. You got to use basketball.
Yeah. It's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, man. Very interesting stuff. J Ellis, anything else on the Bulls series before we segue?
Nah, I think we're good on the Bulls series. Is there anything you would do differently during that series, or do you feel like we should have played somebody else differently? Because I know Jordan was kind of posting up Starks a little bit. And I gave him a lot of trouble, so I know.
Yeah, well, neither Wilkins nor Starks really.
I mean, when you got a guy 6'6" and you got a guy 6'2", 6'5", he gonna win that war all the time. So, but no, the only thing I wish that if we did over, if you go back and think on that series, we were having a very good game too, and Riley took me out, he took Oak out, and he took Mark Jackson out. And I think we went with Gerald, Greg Anthony, and Mason and Stocks. And Chicago made that run. And that's when the Bull Fanatics got into it. And then that's when he put us back in. It might have been the last 5 minutes because the game was still close up until that time. If I remember, we were up in game 2-2. We was having a very good game too. We wasn't up many, but we were up. And they still had their tier players in when we had some of our bench people in. So if I know what I know now, I might have would have went up and said, Pat, man, it's time to put us back in.
Yeah. I think that was a game too when there was really full court pressing you guys heavy.
Yeah.
And causing a lot of turnovers. But y'all barely got it. I could have won. That definitely could have won that one.
We definitely could have won that series. When you look at it, We could have won it. I mean, you're not going to beat Chicago at home, but so many times. In the game that you win at home, you got to go home and take care of home court.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Game three was definitely tough.
Yeah, we take care of home court. And then, some of them phantom calls that when you see Gerald, like, yeah, he touched him in the stomach, but it didn't create a disadvantage on Micah shooting that elbow jump shot. Yeah. He got a couple three-point plays off that too to hurt us. So that was Game 5 was a game we could have won, and I definitely didn't want to go back for Game 7. You don't want to nobody home court on Game 7.
Yeah.
I mean, everything goes back to them. If we could have got Game 5, we took care of Game 6, but I knew it was going to even be more tougher. And we hung in there for a while, but evidently the experience prevailed.
I do have a question, actually.
Yeah, go ahead, Jails.
The Game 5, there was like a little moment that happened where I think Pippen pushed you to the floor, and then you got up and you were angry, and think Knicks were trying to talk to you, and then you ended up pushing Oakley and like caused kind of a frenzy in the huddle. Like, what happened there?
Well, I was cutting down the middle, and Cartwright caught me with a bow. He actually, I think I had a concussion.
Oh, wow.
I think I had a concussion.
That's how it looked. And from the replay, that's how it looked, because he was down and out.
Man. I mean, when I was down, you got to realize they went on the other end and played and then came back. I was still on the floor. And when you see me getting up, you see me wobbling. And by this time now, I'm pissed off. I told the referee, I know you seen that shit. So you better not say nothing. They're coming in the lineup telling me they're going to be watching me. I say, ain't nobody watch me. And this is what I get mad at people, look at Mike, he's not right, or Pippen not right. I've been hurt in all these series, but I never talked about the injuries. If I'm having a bad game, I'm just having a fucking bad game, and they're talking bad about me. But when some other, like in Game 6, they were kept talking about, well, he's not right. He's not right. No, we was all in his ass that day. Right? Give us some credit. And there's nothing to take away from nobody, but we was all over them. And they was talking about, look at it, he's limping, and he went to the sideline and got tape. I didn't get tape. I played with no tape for 13 years, 12 years. So, but I got a lot of hits. Just look at what about that left hand layup I had, and he came across my head, then I knocked my head off.
Yeah.
And called him.
That was MJ.
So, but they try to play about our physical, but Michael's one of the dirtiest players you ever going to play with.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about your mama. He talks about your mama. He talk about your daddy. He'll take them forearms and put you in your hand, stand over you and talk. I mean,
was MJ the worst trash talker that you had came up against?
You read my mind.
Larry Bird.
Wow. Larry Bird?
Somebody else said Larry Bird. I think somebody else said Larry Bird was the worst.
Like if you from Indiana, he told Sean Kemp, I'm like, Sean, what did he say to you? He just kept staring at me, telling me I'm the best fucking player to ever come from Indiana. He shot a three in his face, ran down court laughing. X-Man, I'm gonna wear you out tonight. Come up with all type of crazy stuff, man. But I mean, Micah talked. I mean, I was surprised. Doc didn't do much talking when he played. Magic talks a lot.
Oh yeah, I know. I can tell that.
On the court, they didn't call him Magic. They called him Buck. and I mean, the whole game. And don't be letting like Worthy get like five or six on me in a row.
James Worthy will let you know about it.
Oh man, that was one of my. I mean, he was this guy was. I could never stop him.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, two people I really didn't stop that often. That was Adrian Dantley, Purvis Short, Mitchell that played for San Antonio. Was it Mike Mitchell?
Okay.
Yes, Mike Mitchell and Larry Bird and James Worthy. Those were the guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Dominique.
We
had an argument. And I forget who was on the phone, and I was like, tell him I just busted that. He talking about, he already know. He know the 40s I used to give. So, and Dominique, those, and also Alex English, and also Mark Aguirre. The small forward was tough back in the 80s, man.
Yeah, but you held Pippen to 37% during that series for 6 years.
Yeah, they was throwing Pippen around, man. They were bullying Scotty in that series.
Well, I mean, that was a scouting report on him. that he could be rattled if you're playing physical. If you're very, very physical. And we wanted him not to be on the outside where he could just catch the outlet and go. So we moved Oak to the out a lot of times. And if you realize, me and Patrick was always on the box. So a lot of the times, if he was going to get it, he would have had to go 94. And I tried to pick him up early so he can get started. It worked a lot of the time. Sometimes he did. I mean, he's a great athlete.
Scotty was one of the best, man.
Yeah. Just imagine he was been in Seattle. Ola Polonese. And I love Ola. I love Ola. Ola been like a little brother to me. Imagine, that he would have been in Seattle, man. And you never know where that would have been. Yeah. That's what I like to talk about, what if. Yeah. Because if what if was, we all be drunk.
Man. We're talking to Xavier McDaniel. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Right now, we got the icon Chuck D in the chat right now. Salute to Chuck D. He's saluting Xavier McDaniel in the chat. Public Enemy is in the building. Salute to everybody for sure, man. Absolutely. Xavier, you still keep up with the Knicks today? And you still keep up with the team?
I kind of keep up with a little bit of everybody. I just kind of watch basketball. Yeah. But once you start playing, like when I was growing up, I was a Doc fan and a Magic fan. And then once you get into you being that basketball player and that guy, that kind of fades out. So I don't watch it every night because it's too much basketball. I try to watch it like when I was young. I want to watch those good matchups. But I go to the Madison Square Garden Network and watch the Knicks because my son played against Dennis Smith Jr. Okay. He was at Trinidad. He was at Hammond Academy. Yeah. And they beat them. Well, they beat them in North Carolina, in Raleigh-Durham area. And then my son then beat them in Columbia at the Chick-fil-A Classic, big classic where all the top players come to in Columbia and play during the Christmas tournament.
Okay. All right. That's cool, man. Now, X-Man, you also had a couple acting cameos, man. How did you get into acting?
David Falk. David Falk called me and said, "Hey, we got something for you." Oh. And Married with Children.
You beating up Al Bundy or Married with Children? Yeah.
Hey, I'm the only man to ever beat Al Bundy. I'm the only man to ever beat Al Bundy. So, and then I got the one with what was it?
Single. Is that it?
Single. Yeah. I'm finna say Sleepers in Seattle, but Singles. And the funny thing is, I signed a contract with the Sonics. I did it, the cameo when I was with Phoenix. And the movie came out when I was with Boston.
Oh man, the timing.
And I did it with the late Wayne Cody, sports guy with Seattle. And to be honest, we did it right off the top of my head in Singles because I was reading the strip and I was like telling the director, "We don't talk about that." And Wayne Cody said, "This is what we're gonna do." They sprayed me down with some water. Asked me a question. I did it off the top of my head, and it took us like 3 takes.
No,
top of my head.
Steve, don't come yet. That was a class.
The only thing they wanted me to say was, "Don't come." That was the only thing.
Oh my God.
Those 4 words, J. Ellis.
That was the only thing I had to say.
J. Ellis, just to give you some background. So basically, it's a guy. He's in bed with a woman, right? And he's trying not to come early. So he's daydreaming about something. So the daydream is him.
He's daydreaming about me playing for the Sonics.
Interviewing Xavier McDaniel in a post-game press conference.
Why you in bed with your wife? That's crazy.
And shout out my guy Chris Sham. He's a 30+ year season ticket holder. He sent me that link. He was like, he's one of you're one of his favorite players, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta show the X-Man this clip from Singles."
My God.
All right. I get a little check from both of them. How stingy California is. This is probably like one of the lowest checks I ever got. It was 79 cents.
Wow.
California took 28 cents of it.
Oh, wow. Man.
The check was 51 cents.
The X-Man does Hollywood, man.
Oh man,
that's good stuff, man. Definitely good stuff, man.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I mean, you know, X-Man, what do you know, for the younger kids that never saw you play, you know, what do you want your legacy to be as a you know, former Knick, former NBA player, played for quite a while, played for a lot of different teams. What do you want your legacy to be?
Played hard, played aggressive, played the game the right way, and gave it all. Played hurt, played with bad knees, swollen knees, probably times when I shouldn't have played. Because I tell people all the time, I used to play for free one time. Now give me $100,000 every month. So I mean, I just love the game. Love the game. If you're gonna play the game, love the game. You know, enjoy the game. But also, whatever you want to do outside of basketball, I always say, don't let basketball use you. You use basketball. Use that platform, and that's what I love about. Like I said, like for LeBron and Wade and all these guys and Shaq, they let basketball. They work basketball for them in their favor. You know, and just love the game, man. Love the game. I used to always tell my son, if you ain't watching basketball, you don't love the game. I'm watching what Georgetown doing when I was in college. I'm watching to see what Michael Jordan doing. I'm sitting there like, and a lot of people was like, man, y'all couldn't have beaten no Michael Jordan. I said, hey, first of all, we had Antoine Carr, the big dog, 6'9", 220. He didn't look like the big dog like in Utah. In college. Cliff Levingston, myself, Arby Sherrod, Greg Dryland. And we had another guy that got drafted, Tony Martin. I played 6 guys on that team that played pro ball.
Damn, that was all on the Wichita State team?
Yes.
Oh, wow, okay.
A lot of people don't realize that, but we were number 4 in the country.
Wow.
And we came to Madison Square Garden. And if y'all ever see Stevie Burke, ask him about it. We put a whooping on him. Springer, because they were a top 20 team there, and we beat them by about 20, 25. And Georgetown was playing St. John's and Chris Mullins. That's the first time I seen Patrick. And I was like, oh, shit, this Patrick? Okay. Right then and there, when I see him, I was like, you can't be going to the hole with layups with him. You got to punch that thing in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people realize that, but people see Greg Dryland, they were like, he went to Kansas. Well, before he went to Kansas, he went to Wichita State. So we had a very good team, man, and stuff. And I just felt like we could have been one of those elite teams out there in 1981-82 season, but probation hurt us.
Damn. It's tough, man. Once again, we're talking to the X-Man, Xavier McDaniel. X-Man, before we let you go, what's your final message? What do you want to say to the Knicks fans in the chat? They were so excited to have you on the show. You know, wanted you to stay with the Knicks, and we all thought things would have been better. Even Jeff Van Gundy said he was devastated when you left. What's your message to the Knicks fans out there?
Just got to stay positive. Just got to stay positive, and hopefully that they can get some people to come in. You can't just rely on young guys. You got to have a mixture of young guys and older guys. You can have 10 young guys. You're going to lose with them 10 young guys. You got to mix that thing up with them. You got to have some guys that 10, 11 years in the league. You got to have some that's 2, 3 years in the league or less. And you got to have some in that middle range like 6, 7, and 8 years. And that's what they got to get to. And you got to find an identity. You keep changing coaches all you want. You got to get the players in there, you know, and you got to get somebody that everybody's going to respect. You know, Pat Riley came in that year, and the Knicks were never bad, but they were never great. Yeah, he took us on that edge because he had them rings behind him. And you got to stay with a team. You know, you can't go get a guy like Phil Jackson and say it's a part-time job. Full-time, man. It's
full-time job as a president. Yeah. True.
And I think that's where it started.
Yeah.
You asked for mediocre from him, and that's what you got.
Yeah.
And the draft picks and the trades is all coming back to haunt you. So just start it over with a few guys and get some younger guys in there. And because I don't think it's always about paying a guy $40 million. You know? Most of those going to be tied up anyhow. But you got to find them guys like myself. You may not be that superstar, but you that star. And if you can get you a couple of them star players, man, and somebody elevate their game like Kawhi Leonard did, like what he did in
Toronto.
That's what you want. You want to develop some guys.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
So bring Chris Paul over.
Yeah. Well, but that will be a guy that you can start with to help some of these young guys out. So these young guys getting traded, they lose their confidence. I mean, look at Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah. DSJ confidence is shot, X-Man, man. His confidence is shot.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give these young kids some talent. But I always tell the kids, no one's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. And that's what I used to say to David Falk. I believe in myself. I will bet on myself. Even if I fail, I'm going to always bet on myself. And that's what you got to do. You playing professional basketball for a reason. You can't let trades get you down. You can't let things that be said because, hey, I got booed in Madison Square Garden. I remember the guy saying, Xavier McDaniel is trash.
We didn't mean it.
We were playing the Boston Celtics. And at the end of the night, we had done beat them pretty good. I had 37 points. And he done scratch out and say, X-Man, you my hero. and Patrick looked at me and say, welcome to New York.
Yep.
You know, I looked at him. At that time, those 3 or 4 games, I was playing like trash. Sometimes you got to accept what's going on with you and not worry about what people are saying. Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, damn, I was trash. When I went back and looked at those tapes, I was like, damn, you are trash.
That's real. That's real.
So you step up by playing. That's why New Yorkers love Oakley. It don't matter how many layups he missed. He's going to dive on that floor, knock the crap out of somebody, and he's going to go for loose rebounds, and he's going to be take no prisoners. He got that blue-collar type work. If you're in New York and you don't want to work, you ain't going to eat. But if you want to eat, you can get on them streets and make some money.
True story, man. They don't make him like X-Man, Jay. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah, he ain't care.
You could only hope today's kids have that same mentality. And I'm going to do this for
my daughter because these streets of Sanford, that's where we at. Sanford. We in Sanford, North Carolina, right outside of Fort Bragg. Right. These streets are rough. And we're in some, by the way.
Hold it down, man. Show him some of the pictures when he put them claws on him, X-Man.
There you go.
That's it, man.
My peeps, Jeff McCray, Vanessa McCray, Monty McCray. Peace.
That's right, man. Well, X-Man, we had a blast, man. The fans had a blast. You dropped a ton of gems, a ton of insight on us. And hey, when you make it back up to the New York area, maybe next season, man, you want to come to a game at MSG. Hit us up, man. Let's connect and maybe we do like a fan meet and greet or something.
That'd be dope.
Okay. I'll come in and kick the door down.
Let's do it.
they ain't let Spike Lee may have to do another movie. Kick the door. They wouldn't let him in. It's some things just need to change and get better.
I feel you.
That's it.
I understand.
That's
like
it,
when
man.
I go to Seattle, when they had a team, man, they show me so much love, man. It'd be unbelievable, man. So much love. And that's what they got to get back to. You got to show your former players some love, man.
I agree.
You know? But I hope we get better for them.
Well said, man. Well, X-Man, we definitely wishing you best of health, especially during these times, you and your family. Thanks again for giving us the time, man. We really appreciate it, brother.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All righty, man.
Good night.
That was Xavier McDaniel, J Ellis. Give it up for the X-Man. Throw a 32X.
Come on.
In the chat.
Yes.
The X-Man, J Ellis.
X.
Amazing interview, man.
That was so dope.
Hey, give me some of your thoughts, man.
Man. I like the Chris Childs interview too, but I like
Yeah. Hang on, let me get the camera on you real quick. Hang on 1 second.
Man.
Hang on. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Hit that thumbs up button for the X-Man.
Yeah, man.
That was the best one.
That was the best one?
That was the best one. No, actually,
he dropped some gems.
X-Man dropped some gems. All right, go ahead, man. Camera's on you, bro.
Oh, man, he dropped some gems. I mean, the disappointing thing was, like, it seemed like there was some kind of gaming shit going with the contract situation.
Yeah, that's the shicey side of the business, man.
Yeah, and it's just like, wow, we really probably could have had X-Man for longer than a year if, like, the front office is kind of doing what they were supposed to do. So that was kind of the biggest thing. That I took away from the whole interview. But I also kind of like just how how the dude is like so tough and he has his reputation of being that tough dude, but he's also like really humble and understanding at the same time.
Extremely humble.
He's like
Extremely.
nice balance, man.
Yeah.
Really like the guy.
Extremely, man. They don't make him like that, man. You know,
Definitely don't make him like that.
you could only wish that these kids today were built like the X-Men, man. They definitely do not make them like that. Hang on, J Ellis. I'm just reconfiguring the screen. So salute to everybody in the chat once again. Leave us some feedback on the interview, man. What do you guys think, man? How about the James Worthy bomb, J Ellis?
Yeah, that was the big. Knicks were on the way to signing James Worthy, and that's why they wasn't even keeping him. That was huge. I can't even believe. Yeah, the James Worthy bomb was big. He was in talks with the Bulls was big. That might have been
in talks with the Bulls.
Oh man,
crazy. I mean, the whole Bulls series.
Oh my gosh, that gave me Kevin Durant vibes when he said that.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But ultimately, it just seems like the Knicks kind of just dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, you know, it's kind of like the Krause thing, man. You know, with the whole Last Dance, and the stance that he had with Pippen, and how shrewd these GMs can be, man. You know, sometimes they don't see the future with a certain player, and then obviously you have them playing these games.
Right, but I don't get how you have a series like he did with the against the Pistons and Chicago, like. Because watching those games, like Hewan was getting, the captain is always going to be nice. Hewan needed help. He needed help because they were doubling him all series long, and it just seemed like X-Man was the only other guy who can kind of score. And
nobody else could shoot well. That was the problem with game 2. I mean, a lot of the games. I mean, you had Starks. You know Starks. He's erratic. Greg Anthony couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Oakley's not going to shoot it. I mean, Mace was going to be Mace, but, that's not going to equate to a Pippen, even on his worst day sometimes. Right.
So, like, watching the game, it just seems like as a fan, that's a no-brainer to keep him around.
They dropped the ball.
And it's just like, okay, you went for James Worthy. Cool. But, you waited too long, maybe? Like, I don't know. Like, and then you end up with Charles. Like, I don't understand.
Charles Smith, who was playing out of position. They had Charles Smith, who was a power forward, playing the 3.
It doesn't make sense.
Made no sense.
It makes no sense.
Made no sense, man. So to everybody in the chat once again, I'm here. I'm gonna set up the phone lines if guys want to call in and call in with your comments. Some of your X-Men fans want to call in. And let me set up the phones. Yeah, it made no sense, Jales. Made absolutely no sense. You know that during the whole Jordan era, there was only 2 teams that took the Bulls to 7 games. Knicks and the Jazz. Knicks in this 92 series and the Jazz in 98. They only went 7 twice. They only went 7 twice. And we took them to the brink, Jales.
Yeah. That's interesting. And I feel like the Knicks was like, the Pistons kind of set a tone. Because it seemed like everybody was trying to be the Pistons.
Set the blueprint.
Yeah, they set the blueprint. And then the Knicks went out, got Oak. Got Mace and got X-Man, and it's like, all right, cool. We kind of have our little like NY version of that, and we just didn't keep it together long enough. And
they didn't keep it together long enough, and they just needed that one more consistent scorer. If it was X-Man then X-Man, I thought they shouldn't. A lot of times they were really trying to get Chris Mullin. I don't know how realistic those chats were, but Chris Mullin would have been another perfect addition to complement the captain. They needed that consistent scorer, whether you talking about from 89 all the way up to 94, man. From 89 all the way up to 94, bro.
Yeah, we definitely need that punch.
Yeah, it needed that punch, and they just never had it. But yeah, I mean, X-Man was great, man. X-Man was great.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I mean, the stories. I mean, the Childs interview, Childs gave us some dope gems too, though, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. I'm not. I need to sit back and look at.
Yeah.
Childs, because Childs was an awesome interview. He was telling the stories about Jordan and then like why he didn't punch him like he did Kobe, and so like there was gems in that one.
Yeah, there was definitely gems in that, man. Let me set up the phone lines real quick. So to everybody in the chat once again. Now, X-Man was cool, man. Real stand-up guy.
He's X-Man is mad cool, man.
How about he came to bat for the captain.
I like that.
He came to bat for you, and we heard two perspectives. We heard the Oakley side first and foremost, and people ran with our interview, didn't give us credit, but it's all good. We'll let that flow. And then Harper came out a little while later and kind of tacked on, but X-Man came to Ewan's defense, and rightfully so, man. Come on, man. The captain gave you everything he had, bro.
It's interesting too because X-Man, he's like a scorer, so you would think that if you come into the squad as a scorer and someone is the man, you might feel like, maybe I should take the shots. Maybe I should. But he took the opposite approach and was like, I'm working on my game to compliment Ewing. And it just seems like, I don't know, maybe other people didn't really embrace the role like they wanted to. And that's why they have a problem. Yeah,
it's tough, man. But like you said, he put in the work to make sure that they had the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
He put in the work to make sure that they had the chemistry. So, again, solid professional, bro. That's a professional for you, man.
Yeah, man.
How about first off, the fight with Mason was crazy. Yeah. The fight with Mason was crazy. I know Jeff Van Gundy described it as two cars crashing or something like that on the Woj podcast. He said they were doing blockout drills, and all of a sudden you just heard crashing bodies crashing against each other.
And didn't it go on for a long time too?
For them to call him into the office, seems like it was some some serious beef. Because think about it. Mason at that time, he walked onto the team. He was a walk-on. What happened was,
right.
And if you guys take a look at my Mason biography, I go into everything, but Mason had left the NBA, bro. He got drafted in the 88 draft.
Yeah.
To Portland in the third round. There was 3 rounds at that time. He leaves because Portland had a lot of depth in the front court. He leaves, travels all along circuits internationally, Turkey, whatnot. Yeah, goes to the Nets.
Yeah.
Goes to the Nets where Willis Reed was the coach. Play for the Nets, gets cut. Play for Denver, gets cut. He walked onto the Knicks from a summer league tryout.
He had a chip.
So he had a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? So he's coming in. The X-Man's coming in. Mason's in from Queens. And he's like, yo, this guy's not going to take my spot.
Big facts. And Oak is already there. I'm thinking, and you would think after what happened with Oak in Seattle, that would be the thing to look out for.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it was cool to hear that Riley played the fight between Oak and X-Man and was like, we're going to fight together now. Yeah. That's dope chemistry building psychology to say, come together, for a common goal. That's dope.
Yeah, that was dope. That's some true coach stuff right there.
Absolutely, man. Let's go to the phones, J. Ellis. First call up, we're going to go to Puerto Rico, J. Ellis.
Okay.
Antonio from Puerto Rico is on the line. He wants to talk about the interview. Antonio, how you doing, man?
Yeah, how you doing, buddy? Great program like always, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much.
I was seeing Xavier. I was hearing him. He had a great interview. He was always my idol. I'm a Knicks fan, diehard fan, but the Knicks, when they decided to trade for him to the Phoenix Suns, I was so happy. And he was too short with the Knicks. He should have played more years. What I heard, by that time where there was no internet like nowadays, and they used to find out information by the New York Post and all the other papers. Peter Versey said that the reason why Xavier left New York was that he wanted to be the first option, and he was a bit jealous about Ewing being the first option. I don't know if that's true, but that's when everything turned around. It was like, wow, he should have stayed in New York. He was a great player. He was tough. He would have been perfect. I think the Knicks would have stayed with him. He would have stayed with the Knicks for the next couple of years. Something big would happen, But things happen. It's too late now, but
yeah,
I used to love that guy.
Tough, man. And thanks for the call, Antonio.
Yeah.
Hold it down in Puerto Rico and be safe, man. Go ahead, Jails.
I don't know, man. Like, because if you read the stuff that was written at that time, it just seemed like there was conflicting reports on both sides.
Yeah.
Like when it was like he said, she said, and to be honest, too, from the vibe I'm getting from the interview, I don't know. I'm not getting that vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting that vibe. Like, because we opened the interview talking about how he was second, and then in Rookie of the Year voting, and he directly I asked him too. It's like, hey, did you feel like you get the most shots? And he directly said, no, this is Patrick's team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he worked his way to compliment him. So I don't know. After this interview, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm inclined to believe him.
It's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell, you know. And people in chat saying he still went to Boston, which was Birdstown, you know. So, you know, it's a lot of sides. We heard his side of it. We saw what Checkits and Grunfeld's side of it was through the papers. Obviously, it's going to be a CYA type of thing. And listen, I think at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself, like he said. You got to take care of yourself. It's a business. But it's kind of weak that he felt that you know, they kept it political with him in terms of the playing time as soon as he opted out of his deal. That's kind of weak, man.
Yeah,
they really did that to him. That's kind of foul.
It just seems like, I don't know, from the way he says it, it just seems like they were trying to get him back on the cheap from the jump and lower his value.
Yeah, that's what it appeared to be to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then it was just like, I don't know. It just seemed like it was just doomed from the start.
True story, man. We got a lot of super chats in here while the interview was going in. Let me read some of these. Let me shout out Mr. Durante. Sends us a $10 super chat, Mr. Durante. Appreciate it. Bad Dog Sports, all you Giants fans. Giants had a good draft, J Ellis, last week, man. Giants had a solid draft. Shout out Bad Dog Sports. He says, this is fantastic. Thank you. So mad the Knicks let X go in 93. I swear we win in 93 and 94 if X is part of it. X32 #respect. Salute to Bad Dog Sports. Dope comment. We got Knicks Central with O'Skrilla. Sends us a $10 super chat. He says, wow, the X-Man, Knicks Fan TV, definitely #1 Knicks show for the fans, by the fans. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Appreciate it, Knicks Central. TB in the chat says, man, y'all made my night. 90s was good memories. Thank you, X32. Salute to TB. Got Ismail Riva sends us a super chat, JLC. He says, great show, #1 show for all the fans. Salute and stay safe. Appreciate you, Ishmael. And we want to appreciate J.I. Wizard sends us a super chat as well, man. So salute to everybody that tuned in, man. I don't know, man. I'm curious to see what the fans think. Was the Childs interview better? Was the X-Man interview? I don't know. I think they were both great.
They're both
great, man.
They're both really good.
Yeah, that was solid. Question is, who's next? Who's next?
Who is next?
Putting a lot of pressure on ourselves right now, Jay.
I know, right? Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. But we definitely having fun with it. You know, the support from the community is how these things come to fruition. So we appreciate everybody, you know, throwing us a bone and looking out for us on these interviews and you know, trying to make things happen, man. It's a community thing, JLs. We definitely don't do this by ourselves. So we appreciate everybody who's been supporting us from the jump. You know, what could have been, JLs? What could have been?
What could have been? You know? X-Man, is that a chip? I don't know. Is that at least a
94? 94 maybe. I mean, but even still, you know, 93 was still our best chance, bro. The 93 team won 60 games. Even went with X saying, you know, they left and they got Doc Rivers, they got Charles Smith in there. They won 60 games, bro. They were the #1 seed. They had home court advantage, Jails. They won 2-0. They were up 2-0. Game 3, Michael Jordan goes 3 for 18, J. Ellis, and they still lose the game by 20 points. That was it. If you win Game 3, the first game in Chicago, J. Ellis, you win the series. Now, do you go on and beat the Phoenix Suns? I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
You know, Suns, that was a machine right there. You know, with Bar, that was a good team. KJ Barkley,
the old
Dan
Suns,
Marley.
that was my cheat squad.
Yeah. 93 team was a formidable team. Not sure if they would beat the Suns, but they were good. But they had the Bulls on their heels. And that was also what happened, JLs, was that in between game 1 and game 2, MJ goes to Atlantic City. Comes back in game 2, Knicks win the game. Media's all over it. You know, MJ's got a gambling problem. What's going on? What are you doing in Atlantic City till 3 a.m.?
They need to hit that on the dot.
And that became the cloud over the Bulls that kind of galvanized them because they ripped off 4 straight. You know,
like, I don't need no sleep to win.
They ripped off 4 straight. You know, game 3 didn't have a great game. Game 4 he dropped 54 in her head. And game 5 is a Charles Smith game, and that's all she wrote.
Oh God!
You know, they closed it. They closed it out in 6. So it's just opportunities lost, man. Opportunities lost.
Definitely lost. Man.
Let's go to North Carolina, where X-Man is hailing from. Jay Boogie in the chat. J Ellis on the lines wants to weigh in. Jay Boogie, how you doing?
So that's my old nickname.
What's good with the fellas, man? Good to see y'all, hear from y'all, man. Everybody healthy and good. That's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Hey, man, let me just tell y'all this right here, man. From a Knicks fan and a fan of Knicks Fan TV and a watcher. Yo, I salute y'all guys, man, for doing what y'all doing.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keeping it up to date, taking us back in history, bringing it forth so people can get an idea and understanding of what the Knicks was back then and everything. Yo, y'all do a great job, man. I swear y'all do, man. So let me tell y'all that, man.
Thank you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Xavier, man, I was so happy when we got that dude. I just knew we was going to do something, man. And I hate the situation didn't turn out how it should have been. They should have paid that man. But one thing about Xavier, man, his legacy, man, from a fan perspective, you know for a fact, when you played against Xavier, you knew you was dealing with somebody who was going to play you hard every night. It was going to be a bruise, a battle, and everything. Mm-hmm. But the flip side of that, the same way he played you hard on D, he'd go on offense and might give you 16 to 30 that same night, man.
True.
And I ain't know
Both
he was
sides.
so close to me in Sanford, North Carolina, man. I'm getting ready to go hunt and find him because he ain't like 25 minutes away from me. I enjoyed that interview, man.
Appreciate it, Jay
I
Boogie,
enjoyed
man.
this interview, man. That was the best one, man. Let me tell y'all, since y'all debating which was better between him and Charles. But I love y'all. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm
Appreciate
always on this side watching y'all.
All love, brother. Thanks for the support, man. Appreciate Jay Boogie, man. X-Man, if you still listening, man, you gotta look up Jay Boogie, man. You guys gotta hang out and talk, bro.
Yeah, he around the road, dog.
Yeah. right around the road.
He's 4 trees down.
Yeah, right around the road. I mean, JLs, I don't know. Is there any other Knick that only spent 1 year with the team that is as beloved as the X-Man? Who's close to a 1 year, one hit wonder that is still remembered as much as the X-Man was? I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
You know, maybe I don't know. Jason Kidd, Knicks tape.
Yes, I'm about to go to the old 1 year. Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, not T-Mac. No, not T-Mac, man. T-Mac was a 1 game wonder, not a 1 year wonder. He was a 1 game, half a season wonder. T-Mac through his whole career, he finished his whole career against the Thunder. Knicks versus Thunder, when T-Mac had like 27 points in overtime. He never had legs after that.
He was killing it. Best nigga of all time.
Manuel C in the chat says Lynn. Yeah.
Lynn.
Yeah. I'm go Lynn Sanity. I didn't even mean to swipe him, man. That's what I'm saying too. Like with Lynn Sanity, I didn't remember more than just that run.
And he didn't even get to the playoffs. But that was running.
He did, but he didn't play. Remember, I was telling you that, JL. So we got to do that Lynn Sanity. The truth about Lynn Sanity.
Yeah, it's funny because we talked about it on my pod like a bunch of times already. So it's interesting it's coming back up again. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Like he never really played in the playoffs. So, but it was still just one of the craziest runs in history.
Yeah, it was Lynn. It was definitely Lynn. It was
Craziest 2 weeks in
definitely,
history.
you know. But like I said, I would look at that as such like a short-lived stint that I can't even, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The X-Men was the X-Men was going toe to toe with the Bulls, man. If they didn't have Xavier McDaniel, bro, they probably would have gotten swept or lost within like 5 games.
No, that's absolutely, because those games, man, they were doubling, hewing like crazy.
Everything, yeah, because they knew nobody could shoot.
And he needed help. And there was times when Ewan was fouled out in foul trouble, and he's like, yo, where is these points coming from? And X-Man stepped up and just is like, all right, it's my team now.
Yeah. There were times when Ewan was in foul trouble, when he went down with the sprained ankle. 3, 4, and 5 was the X-Man's game. If he doesn't have those games, they're done early, finished. Finished.
Super done.
Like, you know. And
there was a game.
Go ahead.
No, there was a game when the Knicks were down when Ewan was in, and X-Man kind of went off. Ewan comes back in. He got the lead.
Yeah.
All he got to do is finish now.
Yeah. Like I was telling you before we went on about the Lynn thing. And listen, I think the coverage of it this week was great. I think he deserved that. You know, that moment that they gave him this week. He deserved it. You know, the Knicks were they're still terrible. They were terrible then when he came in. They're terrible now. And it was a great moment in basketball, not just the Knicks. It was basketball, bro. Because he impacted so many facets of the game, even outside of the game, culturally as well. But I think what doomed him again was, and again, having the X-Man is just proof of it. What doomed him was not playing in that Miami series.
Definitely.
You know, because it's not to say that, you know, it's not to question. You don't want to question the kid's heart or his health. But at the same time, when you're playing for the Knicks and you're wearing that jersey and you go say you're 85% in a game, the detractors are going to kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're from that cloth of
exactly.
85, go ahead. But it's like,
exactly.
It's funny now because if you look back at it now, like people ended their careers because they played on 85 early.
It's true.
It's true. Like, Joakim Noah, I keep going back to Joakim. Joakim Noah used to be good.
Yeah, it's true, man.
And he just kept playing hurt, and then years later, everybody got jokes.
Yeah, definitely true, bro. So yeah, I think the Miami thing doomed Lynn, and yeah, Mark Ray says it was a business decision. That's how it came off, and I think to the people who weren't, you know, feeling him or didn't feel like he had that much of an impact, I think they looked to that as why they didn't become fans or stay fans of Jeremy Lin, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting topic, though. Let's close it tonight. Still in North Carolina, J Ellis. Delano closed like a ton of shows for us, man. He's always the closer.
He's the closer.
Yeah, man. Delano, how you feeling, bro?
What? I'm doing good, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to y'all, man. I guess y'all call me Jab Stetlano or something like that.
What's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
Yeah, but the interview was dope. I'll be honest, I didn't hear the Chris Childs interview, so I can't compare the two.
Oh, you gotta
that was
yeah.
definitely one of the best ones I've heard, period. So salute to y'all for that.
Appreciate it.
And that was a dope gem, but this makes me so mad with the front office. Our front office has found ways to really snatch the hearts of our chest.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
It was a bad business decision, man. Terrible business decision.
Don't get it at all.
But I will say this: the one player that only played 1 year that was probably beloved, that belongs probably on the Knicks tape, would be like maybe Rasheed Wallace.
She was good. She was good, but I mean, they didn't even have him by the time the playoffs came around. He was already done, but he set a good tone for us for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, CP. All the Knicks that were like nice and on another team that we got them there last year.
Yeah, basically,
like we had a bunch of those. Like he's the reason why 3 to the Dome was even a thing here.
He invented it, man. He definitely did, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's even crazier to know that he's that Xavier McDaniel's up the street from where I'm at. I'm like maybe 35 minutes away from where he at.
Oh shoot! So you, Jay Boogie, and the X-Man are y'all gotta hang out.
Y'all all gotta run.
Y'all gotta connect and hang out, man.
Same road.
You know?
Yeah, we neighbors right now. It's crazy, but it's all love. You know what I mean? I'm definitely gonna check out that Child's interview because, like I said, I didn't see it, but you know, love the show always. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it, Delano, man, and definitely hope that you staying safe down there. Appreciate the support, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all stay safe too, man. Everybody have a good night.
Yes, sir. You too, man.
Mm-hmm. Looks
like we got one call coming in, Jails. We'll take one more.
All right, cool.
And then wrap up. Yeah, you gotta catch a Child's interview. The Child's was definitely very entertaining, and he's anxious to come back on. He's still waiting because I did tell him that time that we were gonna have him talk to the fans, Jails, and he was tight when we got off. He's like, "Yo, what happened to talking to the fans?" I was like, "Yo, Chris, we went for like an hour. I didn't want to monopolize your time."
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can't wait for y'all whenever he comes back to talk to Chris because he's super cool as well, man.
Yeah. Definitely got to get Chris on as well. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. All right, who we got up? I'm waiting on Dave to screen the call. Throw your cities in the chat as well, man. Where you guys tuning in from? We had a couple people coming on from North Carolina. So throw your cities in the chat. If you guys are new in the chat, leave a hashtag new and we'll shout you out. Danny Girl sent us a super chat as well, J Ellis. She says,
shout out Danny Girl.
Yeah, shout out Danny Girl, man. OG. She's an OG fan of the post-game live show. She says, been rocking with y'all for a minute. There you go.
Yeah,
and you keep getting better. Would love to hear from Rod Strickland or Gerald Wilkins. Okay.
Hold it down for the ladies because when you look in your YouTube analytics.
Yeah.
And it tells you like the ratio.
Oh, it's 99%.
99. It's 99.9% men.
Yeah. Nah, man. Daddy's true and true, man.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. Daddy's true and true, man. Let's see what the people checking in from. We have Emmanuel Cease's hashtag new now. He's been around. I see him in the chat all the time. But shout out to Emmanuel still.
Yeah.
Jaden Diaz says hashtag vet. Who you got in your chats?
Oh, shout out to House Flan. He says some Santa Clarita.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Yep. And Teddy from Greenville, South Carolina. South in here heavier today.
Okay. South is in here heavy. We had Queens in here heavy. X-Man was repping Queens. We got LLIR says hashtag new from Canada. So our neighbors up north. A.
Okay.
You know, you just drop that little A at the end.
You gotta do
the A. Chris C from Maryland by way of Brooklyn. Okay. We got Raleigh in here. V Kite 21 checking in from Raleigh in here. Okay. All right. Salute to everybody, man. Appreciate you guys for joining. All right. Let's go to ATL Jails. Derek from ATL is in here. Derek, how you doing?
All right. What's going on, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
I just want to talk about the current Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get on Frank Ntilikina. I really feel that they should keep him and get rid of all those veterans that they had hired last year.
All right, your connection was kind of bad, bro, so I had to click the call. But he said he wants to keep Frank and get rid of some of the vets, Shales. What's your thoughts on that?
I am on board with keeping Frank and getting rid of some of the vets.
Yeah, some.
I think X-Man had a point when you say you can't have all young guys. You do need some vets. It just has to be the right vets. And some of our vets are pretty decent. You just have to find the right mixture.
Yeah, and as you said, you know, we do need the right vets. And I'm just switching my screen up here. You do need the right vets. I definitely agree with you. You know, like Frank, I think is a keeper. Ellington, no. I think Taj, to me, yes. Bullock, I would definitely keep. I think he's on a cheap deal. I would definitely keep Bullock. Who else we got? Peyton depends on what we do in the draft and free agency. If they do get this Chris Paul trade off, then Peyton's gone. But I wouldn't count him out as a backup option. Again, he is a CAA client, so you would think that Rose may want to keep him around. But let's see if they even want this Chris Paul deal, man.
Yeah, we'll see if that's even on the table for real. That's a big.
I wouldn't hate it though. I tell you, I wouldn't hate it. A lot of people when I did a video on it, talking about the pros and cons of the Paul deal. People look at it as we do this all the time, same old Knicks type of thing, and it is kind of true, just like based on his contract and everything. But on the flip side, I feel like you're not bringing CP3 in as you would like a Melo or that type of free agent.
Yeah, it's not that role.
It's a bridge. It's a bridge.
Yeah, it's a deliberate bridge. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's
mindset.
A bridge. It's not to build for the future. It's to help your future right now.
It's a different mindset than Melo, even though he's massively expensive.
Right. Massively. $85 million, JL.
You're just funding the world's best on-floor teacher.
Yeah, that's it. At $85 million, you're paying for $85 million for to be a teacher.
Exactly. It's like if you're like starting a business and you're getting personal phone calls with Bill Gates.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, if it's not going to cost you any of your picks, I think they should absolutely look at it. Speaking of Chris Paul, Ari's in here. Ari, what do you think about that? How you feeling, bro?
Hey, what's up, guys? Great interview. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Chris Paul before you even mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
And traditionally, I would say like don't trade for him because same old Knicks. But I've been thinking about it. I'm for the deal. I would do the Chris Paul deal, and the reason why is because this team lacks basketball IQ and they lack shooting, and he is probably tied with LeBron James as the smartest basketball player in the league, and he's a good shooter. And he's never been on a losing team, I don't think, in his entire career. And I think he gets a little bit of a bad rap because of how he was in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that Houston year, his numbers have been ridiculous. And the only reason his numbers were dropped in Houston is because he was playing with Harden. And what I think people also forget is that, if you would watch the All-Star game, he was on the court in the All-Star game with the starters because he could still ball. And his game isn't predicated on athleticism. It's built more of a cerebral game.
Yeah.
And with 2 years on his deal, I would definitely do it. It's not like a 5-year deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For 2 years, I would do it. And I think it could be an asset for the next year's free agency because I think you'd still have enough room to sign a max or a borderline max player with Chris Paul on the team. And I think it would help us in free agency. So I would do the Chris Paul trade. The only way I wouldn't do it is if we get a top 2 pick and we get LaMelo Ball. But if we don't get LaMelo Ball, I'm pulling the deal on the Chris Paul trade. And we're going to be relevant again. And the culture will be set. And I think he's a perfect fit for the team. So that's what I think.
Interesting. All right, man. Take it easy, Ari. Stay safe out there. It wouldn't be a bad move at all, Jails. The CP3, it depends on what your price is, of course. No draft picks. I'm not trying to give away any draft picks. I think even if you get a LaMelo, a CP3 wouldn't hurt. Just to kind of take that burden off of him.
Yeah, actually, Ari has my take. He has my exact take, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times I agree with Ari 100%.
Yeah.
It depends on who we draft. It depends on who we draft.
So you're saying if you get LaMelo, you would let LaMelo just go into the starting role?
Yeah, if we get LaMelo, Killian, let's just let them go.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. I think it just behooves RJ and Mitch to have somebody there who can guide them mentally and actually, show them where to be and how to win.
Yeah, I mean, look at what he did with the Thunder, man. That's what I said in the video. I mean, the Thunder success, you have to put that on him, man. Between SGA's Insurgents, they were 6th seed in the West. They don't have Chris Paul. They're not reaching anywhere near that.
Yeah, but it all depends on pricing. Cause
all depends on price.
I'm not doing first rounds.
No.
picks and RJ and Mitch. I'm not doing none of that.
The thing is, though, is that's what it's going to cost, likely, because the Thunder, I don't see them being in any way, shape, or form motivated to just give them away, that especially the way that they're playing. And if they're going to continue the season now, you know.
I'll give him DSJ Randall in a second.
Yeah. All right. We'll see, man. We'll see if that gets the job done. I don't know, brother. I don't know, man.
They got Peyton too.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
Probably gonna need Peyton.
Yeah. I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. Well, yeah, man. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. We definitely appreciate everybody for joining us. Let's get back on, say, Wednesday. We'll do another quarantine stream on Wednesday. Everybody can kind of chime in on the CP3 stuff, but we definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in to the X-Men interview, J Ellis. Another solid one in the books, man. Another solid one in the books.
Yeah,
go ahead and sign out, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all right. So, listen, Nick of Time show's coming back. He's coming back. All right.
The return of the Nick of Time show.
Yeah. It's the quarantine edition though, so because it's not safe to be in the same room, so you have to redo it. Definitely check out on youtube.com/NickOfTime show. Watch out for the next episodes coming pretty soon, probably Monday or Tuesday or something like that. Also, definitely check out the blog at the NickOfTimeShow.com and check out the writings of Ken. He's been killing it. He's talking about the blueprint, not Jay-Z. No, it's his version of what the Knicks should do in the blueprint to rebuild the Knicks. Definitely check that out as well. And yeah, also get the merch. Someone just got some phone case. We got Knox keys. We got RJ. We got Mitch. All stuff at NickOfTimeShow.com. That's all. Back to you, CP.
All right, appreciate it, JLs, and great show, my dude. And salute to everybody watching once again, man. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Another classic interview. Big respect to the X-Man Xavier McDaniel for giving us the time, man, and just dropping a lot of gems on the show tonight. If you guys are new, remember this show is available in audio podcast format. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Alexa, Stitcher, Amazon Alexa as well. All you Apple Podcast listeners, if you could leave us a review, it would go a long way. As usual, we're looking for you guys to help us promote the show, and it's all cyclical. You guys help us promote the show, we get good guests, we get good callers, and we have better shows. It's all grassroots movement. It's all a community affair, and that's why we ask you to hit that thumbs up button for you boys, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share these videos, and please leave us a review with your feedback. Goes a long way. All right, Jails. It's another one, man. Let's salute to the OG Chuck D in the building. Got to get Chuck back on the show, man. We gotta have Chuck talk to the fans.
Much love to Chuck, man. Always.
Yeah, man. Always holding us down, bro. Yeah. Chuck's been in the chat, man. Chilling, chatting with everybody, man. So salute to the OG. Salute to Gregory W. Let's just salute to Sham BK, Jaden Diaz, all the mods. Dave, appreciate the help. Salute Knicks Fan TV, Dave, for throwing the highlights together. Also salute Fro Magnum for also throwing the highlights together for us. Like I said, we don't do this by ourselves. Yeah, man, we get a lot of help, so we definitely appreciate everybody supporting the wave. RT, appreciate it. Gaia University, appreciate it. Who you want to shout out, JLs?
Oh, shout out my OG, OKOT guy, Craig Williams. Shout out to you, support from that on. Game Time, Weezy, John Talento, Chat Hopping, shout out to you. Carl Custer, Gregory Lee, Delano, Teddy, Locks Maine, Hitting Murphy.
Lowe's Maine.
Yeah, man, everybody.
Yeah, man.
Fritz,
be safe, people.
I'm surprised I didn't see Fritz, but shout out to you, Fritz.
Be safe, everybody. Thanks for supporting. And we'll check you guys Wednesday, man. Peace.